Welcome to the Living Box Free podcast. I'm Becky Ford.
And I'm Ashleyne Seitz.
Today, we are going to talk about how do you make hard work fun.
Dun, 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 dun.
You've been waiting for this, right? You're sitting behind that computer, you're trudging along, or you're sitting in the gym looking at a workout with a ton of burpees wondering, how do I make this enjoyable? That's what we're going to talk about.
Yeah. Yes. Great.
First, what is on the rise for you this week, Ash?
For me, ironically, we just discovered we have a similar on the rise thing, but I think we're going to approach it very differently. Not shockingly. I have recently acquired some plants. I've had one plant that I used to keep in my office, but my new office doesn't have any windows, and so it's been at home for a while. And this poor plant has been surviving on old coffee and
Cheetos.
Yeah.
It's
cigarettes. I mean, it's just this poor plant. But it's been surviving somehow. And then someone gave me another, a couple of succulents in one pot for my birthday. And then someone recently gave me a whole petunia plant for my front porch. Well, I mean, I put it on my front porch. I don't know if it's for my front porch, but anyway, I have notoriously been very bad about plants. And so I just decided it's time to learn, or at least to care a little. And so I downloaded a couple of different apps and tried them out and ended up with the Planta app.
Ooh.
And it reminds me when to water them. And that's it. That is the level of caring I have moved up to, is getting a notification on my phone that says, hey, it's time to water petunia, or hey, it's time to water gonzo. And I'm like, okay.
That's great. You have to prioritize.
Yeah.
Water, probably the most important thing.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, you have to pay extra, you can get the premium thing, and then it'll be like, oh, your plant has fungus. Here.
Oh.
Put apple cider vinegar on it, or I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know what they actually tell you. I don't know anything about plants.
I mean, that's a whole nother level. Yeah.
Your petunia has strep throat. I don't know.
Yeah. You should go get it tested. Put a face mask on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whoa.
Anyway, I'm trying, guys. I'm trying.
Good.
All right. What about you,
Yeah. Like Ash said, mine was similar. It's flowers. Last Friday? Was it last Friday?
Yeah.
Last Friday. Actually, instead of podcasting, I was like, Ash, we have been talking about getting flowers put in for weeks. And if I don't go get them right now, it's not going to happen, which is probably pretty true.
Yeah.
And so we got flowers, and that weekend, Tristan, the day we were going to put them in, Tristan's like, I'm tired. I just want to take a nap. I was like, okay. And then the next day he was busy. It was after church and it was starting to rain. And I was like, nuh-uh, these flowers are going in. And so as it's starting to sprinkle, I'm putting these flowers in. I'm like, this will happen today. So the flowers are in, watering them. I don't have an app to remind me. I think it's just I walk through my front door and it reminds me when I see them. So watering them and enjoying them.
Yeah, whatever works.
Yeah. So I'm really glad we got them in. We need to get some more hanging baskets because I forgot we have one of these freestanding things for hanging baskets.
Oh.
So I have room for more.
Okay.
So maybe this weekend.
It was such a struggle to get the first three, though.
I know. I told Tristan we need to go somewhere else. We looked many places.
Okay.
Ash and I.
Yeah, we did. And by many, she means two. But still, it felt like
that's
many.
More than one. Normally, it's just one. Normally, I go one. It's one and done. So the fact we went two is impressive.
Yeah.
We might go to Meijer and see what they have.
Whoa.
I know.
That's crazy.
I know.
All right. Here we go.
Plants. Let's talk about hard work and making it fun.
Let's talk about hard work. The thing about hard work is that it's not always fun, but it is necessary. And it's not always necessary, but sometimes necessary. And so, yeah, I just think it's important to recognize it's not always fun, but you can sometimes do things to make it fun. Mm-hmm. And even if, you're stuck in an office by yourself, or you're doing that one workout that you hate, or whatever it is, you can find ways to make it fun. And we're going to talk about 3 key ways that you can do this. And our examples are probably going to overlap because it's not just one or the other or the third thing. They overlap and you can kind of mix and match. Also, side note, I would love to hear other people's thoughts on how to make hard work fun because, yeah, I'd just love to know.
Yep.
Give me your tips. Please tell me. Because hard work is hard,
Yes.
in case you haven't noticed. All right. The first thing is adjust your attitude. I was hesitant to start with this, guys, because I was worried that you'd be like,
I don't want to.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, me neither. I don't really want to adjust my attitude either. I want to be cranky about it. I want to be annoyed. And it's like I get some sort of weird enjoyment out of being annoyed by the hard work, but it doesn't help. It doesn't help you get it done faster. It doesn't help you feel content in life. It doesn't help you move forward. Like it doesn't, we do it because we feel like it helps, but it does not. Pretty sure there's psychological research behind that. I'll have to look it up later. I forgot to do that before we started. So some suggestions, ideas, examples. I'll throw one out, Becky. Then you can tell me what you think of it.
Okay.
When I was in college, I was on the snow removal crew, and frequently that was in the middle of the night. So it would snow in the evening or in the middle of the night, and then I would get a call at 2 or 3 in the morning, and I would go out and shovel or plow or salt, if there was ice and that kind of thing. And it's real easy, let me tell you, at 3 or 4 in the morning out there on campus, basically by yourself in a snowstorm, to feel real sorry for yourself. And you're working hard. And so finally, I started thinking about, this is so cheesy, you guys, but it worked. And so what's that? Is it Coors Light that's like, it's only crazy if it doesn't work?
Sure.
Okay.
I don't know.
Anyway, it's a commercial. Anyway, I started thinking about the people that I knew that would walk on that part of the sidewalk. And so if I was salting the entrance to the biology building, I would start thinking about, my friends who were students that had biology class. And I was like, okay, this is for someone, so-and-so not wiping out and bruising their tailbone tomorrow morning. And then I'd go in front of the library. Okay, my friend is a librarian. I'm going to salt this for her so that she doesn't feel, or she doesn't fall over and drop everything and, lose her coffee, because I know she gets cranky if she loses her coffee. Like, I had to think about the people that I was doing it for. And it shifted my mindset. And suddenly I was like, yeah, guys, this is fun.
Aww.
And no one responded because I was alone.
Talking to your invisible friends.
Yes, exactly.
It's interesting. When I first saw that, I thought about just shoveling our driveway.
Oh, yeah.
At which I grew up, my dad did like all of that. Like my mom never shoveled or any of that. And so I've had to learn in our marriage, just because my dad did those things doesn't mean my husband enjoys doing those things. And I definitely am a little bit of like, I like to execute. So I sometimes tend to be the one that I might just go out and shovel. Yeah. And for me, I don't enjoy it, but I think this can be a workout. So like changing my attitude, I'm like, this is a workout. This is better than sitting on the couch. And so, yes, I love like thinking of the people, which is way sweeter than me thinking of like, ooh, this is like a workout. You're getting physical activity, but it does
whatever works for you. Is fine.
Whatever works for you. And so both shoveling snow, 2 different examples there and 2 different ways of changing your attitude to make you be like, okay, I'm doing it. Yeah. This is good. And not be like, oh, I'm stuck doing this 3 a.m. or I don't shovel ours at 3 a.m. 9 a.m. maybe?
Sure.
Yeah.
I think the next thing that comes to mind for me is it's a similar thing of visualizing, how it's going to help people or changing your perspective and saying, this is going to be a workout. But to me, it's like, where is this going to get me? That's the other thing that works well, changing my attitude. And that works great for workouts, but it can also be great for just work, like your job, because you can do a quick calculation of how much money you're going to make in the next half hour. And you can be like, if I work really hard in the next half hour, I'm going to spend that money on X. And it can be like, something ridiculous, or it can be, it can be a plant, or it can just be, you know what, this is paying my rent.
Yeah.
This is when I'm going to pay my rent in the next 8 hours. And that is motivating to me because I know it's not just, oh, I'm just here because I have to be. Well, yeah, I do have to be because I have to make money, but I'm specifically putting that money towards something or putting that effort towards something. I'm creating this project or I'm, doing this one task and it's going to move me forward. So focusing on moving me forward. Other examples of adjust your attitude, Becky?
One thing this week, I actually had just a ton of trainings, 2 of which it was like the exact same training I had to do basically back-to-back days for different audiences, which I hate because I like change and I like my days to be different. And I will say, like, my attitude at first, it's hard work to facilitate because you have to be present. You're asking questions. You got to bring the energy so that it's not dull. And doing the exact same training the next day, I had to like reshift my mindset, my attitude, and be like, this audience, they really need this. It goes back to the people, and it can look completely different with a different audience of people. And one of my audiences were young people in their career. And the second one were much higher up people who were really having some work obstacles they were facing. And it actually was like way cooler than the other day that I did because it was extremely open and vulnerable and just amazing discussion.
Cool.
And so my attitude going in was like, it's hard. It's exhausting, man. I've already done like 2 trainings this week. A third one, it's the exact same content. And it's like, no, totally different audience. And these people need this and they don't get to connect like this. And it's 3 hours long we take a break. Don't worry. 3 hours long. So just changing that attitude, thinking of the people, but also realizing that hard work, even if it feels like it's repetitive, it can be different. So yeah, those are a couple of things. I also mentioned here, I had just had in my notes, we'll mention multiple times about fundraising.
Yeah.
Because we have some really good examples on what our gym community's done. We have a competition called Strengthen Our Streets, and it requires a lot of fundraising. A part of the competition is raising money for a homeless shelter called Wheeler Mission. And I know people in the past who have said, I don't want to compete. I don't want to be on the team because I hate fundraising.
Yeah.
Ugh. It takes so much work and you have to ask people and Oh my gosh. Our community, I've done Strengthen Our Streets with 2 different gyms before M4G, and the attitude that people have now, it is shifted. And we have people at our gym who do work at Wheeler Mission and people who have also like seen firsthand the work that nonprofits doing. And the attitudes I see around people and fundraising and stepping up with ideas, like it is hard work to fundraise. And we have people who say, this is going to such a good cause. Let's do this. Let's do this. And every year, we've done it for 3 years. Every year, there's some new creative idea.
Yeah.
We'll tell you what that creative thing is this year.
Yeah.
But I just love the attitude shift because people see the higher purpose.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Which is really cool.
Very cool. All right. So that's adjust your attitude. Those are our tips. Again, would love to hear your tips on that. Second key way, which you can, just work toward making hard work fun. I feel like it's a muscle you exercise.
Absolutely.
And you strengthen.
Yep.
So second key way is make it a game.
This is my favorite. I think this is my favorite.
So this one's interesting because some of us are not competitive.
Oh, that's why I'm
yes.
favorite. Okay.
But I do feel like you can still do this, and even if you're not competitive, we're made to want rewards, to enjoy getting rewards, and so you can still reward yourself for things, even if you're not like trying to beat your score from the last time. So that's my first recommendation: is set goals, and little ones. And when you reach that goal, give yourself a reward. I'm going to work for an hour straight. I'm not going to get distracted. I'm putting my phone away. I'm not going to get distracted. And then I get to watch a 20-minute episode of Parks and Rec, or I get to go for a 5-minute walk, or, whatever you have time for or don't have time for. It doesn't, like, just working through what makes me feel better, what makes me feel like this is a reward. I'm looking forward to it. And then setting those goals. How many words are you going to write before you can do this? How many emails are you going to send? What is it? It's a little bit different in like workouts. So this tip is more toward like life things than physical activity, but you can go either way.
I also think about people with the goal of, I want to start eating better. Once I hit, let's say I've lost 10 pounds, or once I've, decreased my body fat percent by whatever, I get to buy a new pair of clothes. I get to buy new jeans. Yeah. So like rewarding yourself also can be a great way. I mean, it is hard work to eat well.
Yeah.
Especially when you see all these billboards and Instagram ads of like cheeseburgers,
yeah,
whatever. So rewarding yourself at those little milestones. When it comes to nutrition, I encourage you to do it based off your progress, not based necessarily off of, I ate good for 2 days. Right. I'm going to go slam a buffet.
Yeah.
Like, no, did we see progress, you know? But then those little rewards, that can be a fun way to treat yourself.
Yeah.
In those hard
interesting thing
challenges.
Is that sometimes when you get to the end of that progress point, you discover you don't actually want the reward that you were going to give yourself.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's like, I'm going to, make progress, and then I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to go get ice cream, or I'm going to, one for me was, these things, it's easier if you make your rewards mentally connect. But one of my rewards was, once I got out of debt, I was going to let myself go get a new tattoo. And I was hype about that, and I was working toward it, and I eventually got out of debt. It took me a long time, but I got there. And then I was like, I don't think I need a new tattoo. I'm good. But it still motivated me. It still got me to that point. But then I was like, I don't need it. But it worked. It did what it needed to do.
Yep.
So rewards, and kind of along those same lines, I would say keeping a running tally of, well, okay, this makes me think of, Becky, have you ever played Mario Kart?
Mm-mm.
Okay, well, we're going to play sometime. No. But in Mario Kart, you can play against your ghost self. So you can race like your best time. And that's what I think of when I think of this particular strategy is, how long did it take me to do this last time? Can I go faster? How long or how hard did I work last time? Can I work harder? Can I beat myself? And if so, I get a reward again. Or I just get to write it on a Post-it note and put it on the fridge and be like, look what I did.
Yeah.
I typed 75 words per minute. I'm a nerd.
This is a good one with working out too.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think the key there is track your progress.
Yeah.
And you can track your progress in so many more things than we think about. Like you can keep track of it and say, I did this week. These are the things I got done. I mean, you can say, I did my laundry and I set an alarm and I didn't forget that my laundry was in the washer. And that's something I get a reward for. And next week, if I do it again, I get a bigger reward until it's just habit. Like you can track your progress on ridiculous things like that. I need to do that. I have now 3 weeks in a row left my laundry in the washing machine wet and had to rewash it. So
yeah,
I get some demerits for that one.
Real life examples.
Real life
here.
Example. Yeah. All right. Do you have examples?
Well, one that comes to mind, Eddie from the gym.
Yeah.
Sometimes workouts are hard. And months ago, I think Eddie, all of a sudden, Grace and I were over here doing a workout, and Eddie was next to us and he goes, you want to race? And somehow that just ignited this weekly competition. And if you follow Ash and I on social media, you'll know what we're talking about. So every week now, and the day has changed. Now it's Wednesdays. Yeah. There's this competition and it's a game. And more people are joining it. And they're saying, okay, whoever has the slowest time or the lowest score, they lose. Yeah. And the winner or whoever gets to choose their penalty for the next week. And we've had penalties like Ash made me wear balloons one day during a workout.
So fun.
It was so fun. And then we've had people like wear goofy shirts, or Lauren wore a costume.
Yeah.
So lots of things. Eddie wore paint the other day. I said, Tristan's #1 fan. So making it a game. And like, I will say, it definitely makes me more motivated to work hard on those days.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I don't want to lose. I had a very strong losing streak at the beginning of all of this.
You did.
Yeah.
It was not your fault.
It was hard. So that's one other example I think of. We'll share the Wheeler Mission one for Involve Others. I think that's a good place for that.
Yeah, I think just tracking things and saying, I get to do this, or I will be proud of myself if I get this done. I think that's a big thing, like congratulating yourself, celebrating.
Yep.
Even if it's just taking a minute to say, hey, I did that.
Yep. I think about tracking too, and like the work atmosphere for me, and I know my world is a lot of training, but I think it's like, how do I engage more people? How do we get more people to sign up and want to be developed and go through these experiences? So tracking attendance and tracking feedback and be like, ooh, we did the exact same training twice. Feedback got better. Yeah. More people attended. People are referring people to come back to this. So that's another area. Once again, it's more of that personal competitiveness. Like, I want to make this better.
Yeah.
I want more people to want to come, or more word of mouth to spread, so that we're having a greater impact. So more of that personal competitiveness, but tracking is key to be able to get that joy of like, we have moved the needle. Yeah. Versus if you don't track, it's really hard to know.
Yeah, totally makes sense. All right, that's the second key. The third key here is involve others. And we've talked about many times the impact of accountability, and that's part of what we're talking about here. Accountability does make a huge difference. If I say I'm going to work hard, and then I tell you I'm going to work hard, and then I don't, you could be like, "Hey, I saw you sitting over there eating grapes. What were you doing?" So accountability is part of it, but in this context, I want to talk about just the community aspect of it. The community aspect of working together on something, working towards something, or just in being around others can make a difference. And I say that as an introvert, people, so don't panic. One of my favorite things to do when I have a really big project to do, is just to be around someone else while they're working on something. Mm-hmm. We don't need to talk. I mean, maybe occasionally, or like, hey, do you want another cup of coffee?
Was I grunt, maybe?
Yeah, grunt. Yeah, that's totally normal. But it motivates me to be around someone and know that I'm not alone in the process, even though I'm working on my own and doing my own hard work. So that's my first one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, what do you got, Becky?
I have a couple examples.
Great, please.
Well, the first one I thought of as you were talking, Ash started Push-Up Club. Oh. Which was like years ago, I think.
It was a couple of years ago.
And it was to get better at push-ups. Yep. And she texted multiple of us and said, hey, if you guys want to do this is what I'm doing. So Push-Up Club, we talked about handstand walking last time. That was hard work. And I said, I want a friend. To Ash, will you do this with me? So that was it involved Ash, because I knew it was going to be a lot of work and I needed someone to hold me accountable. Yeah. So those are a couple things that popped in my mind. We talked about Wheeler Mission and fundraising. Our gym community has just been amazing. They came together, created a committee, and are doing what is called the kettlebell.
The kettlebell,
an adult prom for CrossFitters to raise money for this nonprofit Wheeler Mission. And what's just so neat, it has been a grassroots effort. And I believe the committee's had a lot of fun. There's been so much work they've done. Yeah. I'm sure I don't even know, because I haven't been going to the meetings. And they've done a silent auction, gotten sponsors, marketing promotion, tickets. They're doing voting. How cool. Voting for like best dressed or most fashionable in the gym, couple goals, like lots of fun prizes. And they're involving the entire community. All we had to do was buy tickets, and that's going towards the fundraising. Yeah. And they're involving everyone in the community to be a part of this fundraising and making it so fun. They're making it an experience. So I'm really excited to see how all of that goes, which when this airs, it's probably already happened.
Yes.
But that to me, like, man, talk about like community driven, hard work to raise money, hard work to get a venue and get catering and all that stuff. But they're doing it as a committee and as a group. And I'm sure we're going to have a blast.
And involving all of us in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be great. I want to reference back to also your Eddie example from the last one. I mean, Eddie involved you guys, and then you involved me and others, and it just kind of morphed out from there. But I think that's a great example of involving others to say, hey, this is going to be terrible. let's try to make it fun together.
Mhm.
And so you can make it a game together, and that can sometimes make a huge difference too.
Yep. The only other thing I have on here, okay, in the moment of hard work, some hard work, you just got to put your head down and do it. And I think about there's always things like in anyone's job. You're like, gosh, I don't enjoy expense reports, or I don't enjoy forecasting or counting inventory, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Celebration, involving others by celebrating as a team. And it kind of goes back to as well when we talk about tracking your progress. You get it done, have some celebration, kudos, bring in the team, celebrate like, hey, Ash finished such and such, like kudos, or let's go. I don't normally do this, but like, let's go to happy hour, whatever it might be. So celebrating wins as a team is another great way. Just like, let's say you've got a project you don't enjoy, you get it done, create that team dynamic where you can get that affirmation and joy with other people.
That's awesome.
But you're also celebrating the hard work they've done.
Totally.
So that's another way. I know that some people might enjoy their work teams more than others, but even just having that recognition in a team meeting that says, hey, we finished this event.
Yes.
We did this. It went great, blah, blah, blah. That can help make hard work more rewarding.
Yeah. And that ties into if you win, we all win.
Mm-hmm.
And that mentality of it being a win for the team is great. Yeah. It's not something I had thought of. I feel like that also goes for friend groups and even just friendships or relationships of like, I want to be everybody's cheerleader.
Mm-hmm.
I want to celebrate when anything happens that you have. I have a volunteer. She's actually one of my Spanish translators. And she texted me the other day and said, sorry, I didn't get back to you. I was taking my driver's test. And I was like, well, did you pass?
Aww. And
she said, yeah. And I was like, that's awesome. And I just was so happy because, I mean, that has nothing to do with me.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely not. But I'm happy for her. She did a thing and I want to celebrate with her. And so I think it goes both ways in terms of involving others. You need to get involved in other people's wins. And that's something, Becky, that you are excellent at is noticing when someone says, hey, I did this, more of just like they're saying it as a fact. And you're like, hey, good job doing that thing. And you're really good at that. And so that's something I want to continue to do more of is recognizing when someone, it can be little. Like if, someone gets through a conversation without complaining, recognizing that and saying, let's celebrate that. Let's just take a moment and say, hey, this is a big deal. We did it.
Yes.
Way to go. Okay, moving on. you know? And celebrating each other, I think, is a big part of that. And then you create a culture which continually does that.
Yep.
Yeah.
That definitely moves the needle with being like that hard work was worth it.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yay.
Absolutely.
Involving others. The extrovert loves it.
All right. Well, we'll wrap up on that note. Yeah. I think about all of the different kinds of hard work that we do. I mean, I'm thinking about our listeners and I can't even think about all of the things that you guys do in a single day. That's hard work that you push through, that you do for your family, or you do it to move yourself forward. You do it for money so you can pay your rent, whatever it is. I am proud of you for working hard. I am proud of you for continuing to push through those things. I want you to be able to make it fun. And so you can try these 3 things: adjusting your attitude, making it a game, involving others. And I want to hear how it goes. I want to hear about it. So please message us or comment on one of our social posts, or you can email us at ontheriseteam@gmail.com if you wish. And I want to hear how it goes. But way to go, putting the hard work in no matter what. I celebrate you.
Way to go.
Way to go. All right. We'll talk to you next time.
Bye.